Chargers fans, get ready, because the last few hours have completely shaken the atmosphere in Los Angeles. What was supposed to be just another chapter in the rivalry against the Raiders has turned into a sequence of events so unexpected, so explosive, that it has left even the most experienced NFL analysts speechless. And before we delve into every detail behind the scenes, the injury that became a hot topic, the controversy that ignited social media, and the real impact of all this on the season, I need to ask you, if you're a true Bolt, have you already liked this video? Have you subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any updates on the team we breathe every day? Because today the story is different. What happened on the field wasn't just a game. It wasn't just a victory. It wasn't just an injury. It was a moment that turned the NFL upside down and that could completely redefine the Chargers' destiny in the coming weeks. Chargers fans, imagine what it was like to experience that game. You defeat a division rival 31-14, control the game from start to finish, improve to 8-4 on the season, and even string together an impressive 4 wins in the last 5 games. Everything seemed to be heading towards that perfect victory, essential to keep playoff hopes alive, especially after the loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars before the bye week. The team was under pressure, the fans were wary, and this game against the Raiders meant much more than just a win on paper. It meant recovery, confidence, and survival in the final stretch of the season. The offense started strong, the defense solid, and for the first time in weeks, it seemed the Chargers had total emotional and tactical control of the game. They were never behind on the scoreboard. The pace was good, the calls were working, and the receivers were performing well. And all this with a stadium pulsating, believing that this afternoon would be the turning point of the season. But fate decided to transform a calm game into a drama of cinematic proportions. Right at the start of the game, Justin Herbert tries to escape a tackle by safety Jeremy Chinn. The play was almost under control until Chinn wrapped his legs around the quarterback, and then the defender's helmet struck Herbert's left hand directly, the very hand he doesn't use for throwing, but which is essential for protection, balance, and movement control. Herbert felt it immediately. He continued for a few snaps, finished the drive with a touchdown pass to Quentin Johnston, but as soon as the play ended, the red alert sounded. He limped off, clutching his hand, and went straight to the locker room. The stadium fell silent. Trey Lance rushed into the game. The crowd held its breath, unsure if it was a momentary scare or the beginning of a nightmare. And it's exactly here that everything changes. What was just a game becomes an emotional battle. And it's precisely here that the second chapter of this story begins, when we discover the true severity of Herbert's injury. When Herbert left the field for evaluation, the feeling in the stadium was that something serious had happened. It wasn't just a temporary player out. It was the heart of the offense, the franchise leader, leaving the field clutching his hand in visible pain. Many fans in the stadium and at home feared the worst, that he would be out not only for that game, but perhaps for the entire season. The initial report released to reporters offered absolutely no clarity, only stating that Herbert was being evaluated. This only increased the general anxiety. Meanwhile, Trey Lance was hastily warming up and moving the offense, but it was evident that no one was fully focused on the plays. Everyone's focus, absolutely everyone, was on whether the franchise star would return. And then, in one of the most emotional moments of the game, Herbert returned to the field in the second quarter, drawing instant applause from the crowd. But it was impossible to ignore that something was wrong. He returned wearing a glove that, more than equipment, looked like an improvised cast. The truth only came to light after the game, when Jim Harbaugh finally revealed the diagnosis. Herbert suffered a fracture in the back of his left hand, in his ring finger. It wasn't just a bruise. It wasn't just swelling. It was a real fracture, requiring immediate surgery on Monday. It was a shock. The explanation of the injury gave even more weight to the images of the game. Every expression of pain, every moment he held his wrist, now made much more sense. Herbert was literally playing with a broken bone. And, as if all that wasn't enough, the game gained another dramatic chapter with the controversy involving Max Crosby. In a tense moment of the game, Crosby pushed Herbert to the ground, even knowing that the quarterback was visible. Limited mind. The reaction was instantaneous. Fans exploded on social media, calling the act dirty, unnecessary, dangerous, and unsportsmanlike. Many believed Crosby had crossed all boundaries of rivalry. But surprisingly, inside the Chargers locker room, the reception to the controversy was quite different. Derwin James, always outspoken, admitted to being furious about the scene, but stressed that he knows Crosby personally and doesn't believe he acted intentionally. Khalil Mack, for his part, even laughed at the situation, saying it didn't bother him. To top it off, Herbert and Crosby exchanged a high five immediately immediately after the play, a sporting gesture that helped cool down, at least internally, the tense atmosphere. Still, for many fans, seeing the franchise's quarterback with a fractured hand being pushed amidst the chaos of the game was a difficult scene to swallow. Even surrounded by pain, doubt, pressure, and controversy, Herbert still delivered 151 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a performance worthy of Philip Rivers' most memorable days. He played injured. He played through sacrifice. He played for the love of the team. He played to win. And he won. But if this story seems intense so far, get ready. It's not over yet. Because while Herbert fought to stay on his feet, other players had to become silent heroes to hold the team together. And it is precisely here that the third topic connects. Who carried the team while Herbert defied his own limits to stay on the field? While Justin Herbert fought against pain and his own physical limitations, the team needed other pieces to keep the offense alive. And that's when the unexpected star of the game emerged, Kimani Vidal, the running back, who took over as starter after Omarion Hampton's injury, had a simply brilliant performance. With 126 yards, a touchdown, 25 carries, and impressive consistency, Vidal displayed explosiveness, vision, and strength, surprising even the most optimistic analysts. For a player selected in the 6th round, his performance was a true gift to the Chargers' offense. And it wasn't just Vidal. The defense also shone in crucial moments, especially when it produced the only interception of the game, a play that completely changed the rhythm of the match, particularly after Herbert threw a painful interception in the red zone, his 10th of the season. The defense brought energy, aggression, and tactical intelligence to prevent any reaction from the Raiders, guaranteeing the necessary tranquility for the offense to manage the game. In the end, the Chargers came away with a victory that gives them breathing room, morale, and hope. But this victory has a bittersweet taste. The team is now at a solid 8-4, riding high with confidence soaring, and with the playoffs completely within reach. However, Herbert's surgery changes absolutely everything. The team now enters the most tense week of the season, knowing that any medical update could determine not only the next game, but the entire fate of the campaign. And to complicate things even further, the next game is against none other than the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday Night Football, one of the strongest teams in the league, a decisive duel. And with Herbert healthy, it would be a balanced match. Without him, the scenario changes completely. And in the end, this Chargers game wasn't just about strategy, numbers, or statistics. It was about character, about resilience, about players who refuse to accept the impossible and find strength where no one imagines. And if you've made it this far, it's because you feel that same energy, that same passion, that same identification with the Bolts. So, before we go, let me ask you one simple thing. Leave your like right now. It shows that you are part of this blue and gold family, and help spread this content to more fans who experience each game with the same intensity as we do. And of course, if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe now, because the next few weeks promise to be exciting, and you won't want to miss any updates about our Los Angeles Chargers.